Hey everybody, welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D-Lo and I've got another video for you guys today. I'm going to be doing a very special fan casting video for the Batman series I'm doing right now, the Bat Family, DCEU Bat Family. So this is talking specifically about the DCEU, like Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam. We're talking about that continuity, and we're going to be casting today Dick Grayson, Nightwing. So I know this is a fan favorite for most people. Hey, what's up, guys, in the chat? What's up, folks from Second Street Marvel, and Nerdy Blurb TV says, hey! So I am excited. I am coming to you guys. I'm in full costume right now. You guys are going to be checking out a lot of fun castings. Some of these are a little bit common. Some of these are very common, and some of these I haven't found much fan art for, so I assume they're not very common. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I want you guys to let me know what you think about these castings down below in the comments. And then I'm also going to be asking you guys who you think should be Nightwing. And if you guys are able to get that to me in the chat, then I'm going to be reading those off, and we can talk about those as we go. So anyway, let's get into this. All right, ready? Here we go. All right, so first up, we're talking about not just Robin. We're not talking about just any Robin. There's been multiple iterations of Robin over the years. I will be doing more fan castings for these other Robins because they are part of the Bat family. But I'm going to be specifically talking about the GOAT, the original, the best of the best, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, Richard Grayson. And he is the first of them all. In the DCEU, he should be somewhere close to the age range of, I would imagine, between 22 and 35, somewhere in there. It's unclear exactly how old he ought to be, but given that Bruce Wayne Batman is supposedly approximately between 42 and 45, that would mean that, you know, Dick Grayson's probably old enough to be Bruce Wayne's kid, but a little bit above that. So he could be up to, I would assume, probably 35. So somewhere between that range. So 22 to 35 is that ballpark, which is kind of a wide range. So we're going to be looking at a lot of those things. So anyway, everyone buckle up, and we're going to be getting into this. Also, really quick to check the chat. Hunter Iggy says, if WB changes actors, they should cast Ty Sheridan as the new Flash. That is a good option. I love Ty Sheridan. And I don't know if he would be the best option for the Flash, but he would be a good option. I do like Ezra Miller, but he doesn't feel like Barry Allen. That's the difficulty for me, is he doesn't feel like Barry, and Barry Allen's supposed to be blonde. That is frustrating for me. I'm not a huge fan of like the bending of the colors and the visuals. So with that, here, fix this thing right here. It's kind of stabbing me a little bit. All right, so let's get moving. Next up, we have first Dylan O'Brien. So Dylan O'Brien is 5'10" and 27 years old. He's in that ballpark, so he's older than the lowest bracket. Well, what did we say, 22, and lower than 35. That would give him a few years within that relative age range to work with before you start having to use like either makeup, or hopefully he still looks youthful by the time he gets to 35. But he's a talented actor, Teen Wolf, Maze Runner, American Assassin. He was recently Bumblebee in the Bumblebee film. I love this guy. I think he's a lot of fun. He's flirty, but he's also no stranger to action. He's no stranger to like fight sequences. This guy would be really good. I don't know that he's like qualified as a martial artist per se, but he could definitely learn those things for a role. Many actors have had to do that, and I don't think it would be very difficult for Dylan to do that. He's also a fan favorite pick for the role, as I'm going to show you guys some fan art. So obviously I didn't do these. These are straight off of Google. So I have no idea who's responsible for these art pieces. But this one in particular was my favorite. I really like this one. Someone did this one here. Also really good. This was an image of him when he was a little bit younger to play the role. But I do really like the look here. It's very kind of gritty, grungy a little bit. And I think that, you know, obviously Nightwing has always been kind of a pretty boy. So grunge isn't really something he would be into. But it is a good spin on the character. I mean, obviously that's what they did for Ben Affleck's Batman, and it worked really nicely for some of the Batman aspects that he was portraying. So I do like that. And let me know what you guys think about Dylan O'Brien. I'm going to click around a little bit, show you guys some image comparisons. These aren't necessarily art pieces here. They're just side-by-sides showing you like facial structure, similarity. I think that it's really good. I think that you can see that he has that kind of like fit, in shape kind of look. He's not particularly beefy. He would probably have to beef up a lot. I mean, he did some good bulking up a little bit. Not crazy, but a little bit for American Assassin. And I think that it wouldn't be out of his range of ability to continue down that trail and bulk up a little bit more for Nightwing. Here's one of him that I really enjoy. Not super realistic, but it's pretty good art. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You see like the taser batons and stuff. It's really, really cool. I really like that. I'm not stoked on the hair piece for this one, but it's fun and it's really funny anyway. So I am enjoying it. I like Dylan O'Brien. I think he'd be a good pick. Let me recap his stats for you before we move on. Dylan O'Brien, 5'10", 27 years of age. I think is a really solid pick for Nightwing, and he's a fan favorite, obviously. I'm gonna go ahead and just like push this up here because I'm not digging what it's doing to my face right now. So next up we got Lois Tan. So this guy is a fan favorite, 32 years old, 6'2". He's taller even than Dylan O'Brien, who is not super tall. He's 5'10". Obviously, whoever you're going to pick for Batman, you don't want Nightwing towering over Batman. So if you're going to pick someone that's really tall for Batman, then Lois Tan would be a really good pick for Nightwing, unless you're going to have Nightwing be standalone. I think this is a solid choice because Lois Tan is a martial artist. He is a very talented stuntman, stunt coordinator. He was in Den of Thieves, 10,000 Days. He was in Deadpool 2. He was in Iron Fist, which it's not listed on this page, but nevertheless, he was in Iron Fist as the drunken boxer that was guarding the gate. I forget who he was about to fight. He was doing the challenges in Iron Fist Season 1. And he's really good. Underrated martial artist. Very, very talented. And 32 years old. Little bit older. He's closer to the older end of that spectrum that we were talking about before, but I think he is a very solid choice, and a lot of people want him to get this role. So let me just move forward. So you can see that, you know, yes, he's an Asian actor. I don't think that for Nightwing it matters a great deal whether or not he's like Asian or white. I think it's more or less about the bone structure. It's more or less about having him have a similar look to this. If his face looks kind of like this, then you can get away with something like this. You know what I mean? So it's not the end of the world. Obviously, I wouldn't want him to have that facial hair. Shave the facial hair. But because Nightwing is a clean look. That's why I wasn't a big fan of the Dylan O'Brien with the grunge look. I think it's better to just keep Nightwing clean looking because he's supposed to be like the pretty boy. You know what I mean? So get him some of that. Now, I do like Lois Tan. He's got a very similar face structure to Nightwing. The hair for Nightwing has always seemed very like Asian, and I think that it would be really cool. This is funny. This is him as I forget what the guy's name was, but he's from the Mojoverse in Deadpool 2. Here's another art of Lois Tan. This one looks really good. I really like that. They exaggerated the hair going all the way back. It's a fun look. I really like that. Now, most of these art pieces, you can see like a lot of people showing off that they want to see him doing it. This says it's not happening. I think that video was about him saying that he's not going to do it because he's wrapped up with Marvel and Fox Marvel at the time. Also, I think it was Adam McKay or Chris McKay. I can't remember which McKay it was, but I think it was Chris McKay, the director of the Lego Batman, was set to direct the Nightwing movie, and then that got delayed and then pushed off, and no one knows what's happening there. I think that's because they were planning Titans at the time, and they were just trying to figure out, do we want to have one guy over here on the movies, also the same character, but a different actor on the show? And the old leadership wasn't okay with that. But when Walter Hamada came in and kicked everybody out and said, hey, no one gives a rip, we just want to have characters, just do your thing. He was like, we have a Cyborg in the Justice League, who cares? Let's do Cyborg on Doom Patrol. Different actors, no one cares. Our audience isn't stupid. And so I think that, you know, this is an older video, probably, this one here, but it doesn't really make a difference now because of the leadership change. And I think that we could very easily see 2 Nightwings, 2 Dick Graysons, or even more than that, depending on how many of those you want to do. And I think that, yeah, it would be really good to have Lois Tan there because he is a martial artist, and I'm a big fan of having him do that. So let me just tuck I have a green shirt on underneath this, and it's getting messed up with the green screen. So there we go. So those are my thoughts there. Let me just recap his statistics. Lois Tan, 6'2", he's pretty tall, and 32 years of age. A little bit older, but that's good. So we see in the comments, it says, I like Dylan O'Brien. He's a pretty good up-and-coming actor. He is indeed. I think that he's basically made it at this point. I wouldn't say he's even up and coming at this point. I think he's just there. I think everybody knows he's really talented. It's not really even a discussion whether or not he's good. I think almost everybody ubiquitously understands he's a talented actor. He can do a lot of different things, and we're just watching and waiting to see what more roles he's gonna find himself in. And that's the kind of the beauty of acting and finding actors. Like, most people didn't think that what's his name, Nicolas Cage, is any good because he's done so many ridiculous films, but you get him in a film where he can play to his strengths and he does a really good job. Like, even though it's a vocal role, Into the Spider-Verse, every single line that Nick Cage had was just nailed when he was playing the what's it called, the Spider-Man Noir. Oh no, what was it again? I have the Funko Pop over here. Where'd it go? Yeah, Spider-Man Noir. That's what it was. And so I think he would be really, really good if used correctly. But then really, really talented actors can fit themselves into roles that they don't normally play and then still pull it off. And that's kind of the telltale sign of a really, really talented actor, is that they can become someone else than they normally would. So we just have to give them chances and see if they're prepared and ready to deliver on those chances. So yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying. He was good in The Internship. I haven't seen that myself, but yeah. Oh, and you said let's see a floating head. I know if I unzip this and I turn up the strength of the green screen thing, then you'll see a floating head. So yes, let me see. Where is the OBrien was exactly. So enough of the comments for now. You guys can keep throwing them up there. I'm gonna check them after every time. So we are done with Lois Tan. Let's keep moving. Next up is Aaron TaylorJohnson. This one is a fan favorite, and I'll show you guys a lot of really, really good art for this one. 5'11", so he's a little bit taller than Dylan O'Brien by 1 inch, but he's also not so tall that he would overshadow, say, a Batman actor. Most of the Batman actors that I had selected were around 5'11" or over. I was a couple of them below that, but for the most part, I picked big dudes for Batman. 28 years of age is right in the sweet spot. That's pretty much where you want him. You want him to seem a little bit like more mature. That way you can fit in a bunch of other Robins beneath him and have the actors believably younger than he is, but also not so old that it's not believable that he could have been adopted by Bruce Wayne and that kind of stuff. So I really like this one. Let's he was in Kick-Ass. He was in Avengers: Age of Ultron, Godzilla 2014. And so it says down here Godzilla 1998. I have no idea why it's saying that. Maybe he was like a child actor or something like that, but he was in the recent Godzilla 2014, and for some reason that's not listed. So I don't understand why it's not doing that. He was there with Bryan Cranston and Elizabeth Olsen. So yeah, anyway, nevertheless, next I wanted to show you guys some of this awesome fan art. So there's a lot of good fan art for Aaron TaylorJohnson as Nightwing. He is no stranger to fight sequences. This guy is really good. He's also an amazing actor. This one's really fun. I like this one. Really cool. I like the armor on there. The mask is pretty cool. The mask seems to be pretty blue. There we go. This one's pretty nice with the mask coming all the way down the side like that. That's pretty cool. You got him next to someone playing Superboy here. This one is really tight, shows the side, comes all the way down. I like those. I like that type of mask. Now, I prefer the one that I'm like wearing here where it's kind of just like this on your face, but it'll be really hard to do that. I understand if they want him to have a really fresh take and not look like Chris O'Donnell, then yeah, you would definitely want to change it up a little bit. But I think that he's a great actor for this. I think he's got the physique for sure and the size for sure. His face shape is kind of a neutral face shape for a dude, and I think that it would fit really nicely. He does look a lot like the Nightwing from the Arkham game series, which is one of the best game series you could ever play, honestly. For a single player game, it's one of the best. And so those are my thoughts there for Aaron TaylorJohnson. I think that he's a really good pick. I'm going to go ahead and recap his statistics here. So Aaron TaylorJohnson, 5'11", and 28 years of age. Next up, we've got Robbie Amell. So Robbie Amell, the cousin of Stephen Amell from Arrow, is 30 years old and 5'11". Again, the same height and general size as Aaron TaylorJohnson. I think Aaron TaylorJohnson's a little bit more buff than Robbie Amell is, but Robbie is not far behind, very fit, and 30 years old is, again, about right in that sweet spot. A little bit older than ATJ, but he's doing he's right where I would want him, basically. And he looks younger than he is. He doesn't look like he's 30 years old. He looks like he's probably 26 or something like that, 27. And which is great. I think that would be ideal. So next, let me see if we can... oh, yeah, sorry. He was in The Flash. He plays Firestorm. He's in the Arrowverse, but he has passed away. Not the actor, but the character. And so he got replaced very quickly by... I forget what the other actor's name, the black guy that's in DC Legends of Tomorrow. But he was also in The Tomorrow People, The Duff. Picture this. And he's on a very awesome film on Netflix called When We First Met, where he's absolutely hilarious. And Dick Grayson is not only a ladies' man, not only is he a charmer, but he's funny as all heck. So he's quippy, not as much as Spider-Man, but he's very quippy. And so that would be really good. I would like to see him there. Let's take a look at some of these art and fan casting images while I deactivate this thing that's buzzing on my phone. Perfect. Okay. So then Robbie Amell here. Let me go ahead and show you guys this. This is a really good art. They kind of stylized it to make it look very cartoonesque, but it looks really good nonetheless. I think that looks totally spot on. He's one of my top picks for Nightwing because his face looks like Nightwing's face. Like, he looks like what the animated Nightwings have looked like up till now. He looks a lot... Look, let me show you some of these. So, like, this is the art, this is his face, and then this is the animated from Young Justice. It's pretty close. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close to perfect. And so let me see. What else do we have here? This is a good one. They black and whited his face here. You know, they kind of showed a little bit more of a Batman armor here. This is kind of him as Batman, more or less. But nevertheless, I think that he would be better suited for Nightwing because of his comedic timing, his natural sense of humor, his charm. I think that that would go a lot further as Nightwing than it would with him as Batman. So yeah, I think that Robbie Amell is a really solid choice. Let me see. Is this him? Is this Robbie Amell? Yeah, it is. So this is someone did an art of him as Nightwing again. I think that mask might be a little too narrow. This is me being all nitpicky. I'm not even a great artist myself, but nevertheless, like, someone has him, Finn Wittrock, Matt Bomer, all great choices. I think Matt Bomer's a little too old for this one, but nevertheless, this is Robbie Amell as Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond. A lot of people have been thinking of him for this character for a while, and I do agree. I think he would be great in this one. So yeah, that's my thoughts there. Let me recap his stats before we move on. So Robbie Amell, 5'11", 30 years old. 5'11" is the general. It's pretty close to the general height, like the middle ground height for my Nightwing picks, by a couple of inches. And you'll see that as we go along. But that he's number 4 on my list. So number 4 out of the top 5 actors. So let me know what you guys think about Robbie Amell. Do you think he'd be good in the role? Do you think he looks the part? And then if so, let me know why. And if not, let me know, because I want to talk with you guys about that in the comments. So anyway, let's keep moving. Next up, number 5 on the list is Stephen R. McQueen. Now, this one's really cool. Vampire Diaries, Chicago Fire, Everwood, Piranha 3D. He's 30 years old, just like Robbie Amell, and he is 6 feet tall. So he is 1 inch taller than Robbie Amell. And he has already tried to audition for the role of Nightwing. So let me explain. So if we go forward, you can see a lot of fan art for this guy. Is this him as well? No, that's Scott Eastwood. So we got Stephen R. McQueen here. We've got him up here. This is him showing comparisons. Now, do you see the bottom picture here where he's working out? That one is unique because when they were trying to cast Dick Grayson for Titans, this image was leaked of him working out with a tank top with Nightwing's logo on the chest. And he was apparently auditioning and trying out for, he was kind of campaigning rather for the role, not auditioning per se, but he was campaigning for the role. He wanted the role. And he was like working out really hard, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, he looks exactly like the Young Justice version of Dick Grayson. He looks an awful lot like Dick Grayson from most of the iterations of Nightwing. And I do think that Stephen R. McQueen is a fantastic choice for this role. I think that he would do really well. Although I do prefer Robbie Amell just because of the comedic timing. I really like Robbie Amell's comedy. I like what he did in When We First Met. I've enjoyed seeing him in basically everything I've seen him in, and his personality off screen, like on Facebook with his cousin, with Steven, on Instagram, that kind of stuff. He's hilarious. The guy's great. And so that's kind of the balance I'm looking for Dick Grayson. But either him or Robbie would be really good because they're both very similar visually. But this guy, I think, has more of the chin that Dick Grayson has, and he rocks the same hair on a regular basis, so that's pretty cool. He's already basically Nightwing, so that to me is really good. Someone I think had him here paired with Scott Adkins as, like, you know, Batman and Robin, but Nightwing. So I think that's actually a really good pairing in my opinion. I really like Scott Adkins, except for I think Scott Adkins is shorter than Stephen R. McQueen. So in that respect, I would say, yeah, probably not, but that's just me being nitpicky. So nevertheless, you guys let me know what you think about Stephen R. McQueen down below. And that, I'm going to recap his stats here, but Stephen R. McQueen is 6 feet tall, 30 years of age, and he's my number 5 pick to wrap up my 5th selection for Nightwing. Now, I have a few bonus picks I'd like to show you guys, so go with me now into the 3 bonus picks I have for you. Number 1 on the bonus picks is Finn Wittrock. And so Finn Wittrock is 34 years of age, so he's peaking the scale of where I want Nightwing's age, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but he's 5'9", putting him at a shorter height so that your Batman pick could be anyone between like 5'10", 6'4", it doesn't matter. Like, you could have any actor within that range, and that opens up a lot more possibility for you if you want to have them together on the same screen. It makes it less difficult for the cinematographer. And so, and more believable for the audience. So Finn Wittrock does look very much like the part. My All-American, Unbroken, American Crime Story, American Horror Story. And then here's some of the images. A lot of people have been casting him to play Nightwing. He has that look. And he rocks his hair kind of in the same way. This is a good picture of him doing that one there. Here we go. Yeah, he does look a lot like the Arkham Knight game series Dick Grayson, which is really good. This is him again, Finn Wittrock. He'd probably want to bulk up a little bit. I mean, he is kind of skinny, but you know, Nightwing's not a Hulk, but he does have quite a bit of muscle on him. So yeah, I think that would be necessary. He'd probably definitely need to bulk up a little bit. This is Brenton Thwaites, not Stephen. I'm sorry, not Finn Wittrock, but they do look kind of similar. And so yeah, this is him looking sharp, which would be good if he's ever going to go out with Bruce Wayne on the town or something, go to an exclusive party or something like that. This is an art of Finn Wittrock as Nightwing. This is William Gray. Finn Wittrock. Oh, William Gray's the artist. Finn Wittrock again. That didn't look like him to me. That kind of threw me off a little bit. But yeah, you guys can see what I'm seeing, right? I mean, Finn Wittrock, he does look a lot like Nightwing. Now, I will say I don't think he's my number 1 pick. He's at the top of the age range that I want, which doesn't give him a lot of years in that believable Nightwing category, or at least a youthful Nightwing category. And so for that, I would say perhaps, maybe not. But he does look darn good in the suit. So I'll leave that there. That's Zac Efron there. That's not him. So anyway, he's my number 1 pick for the bonus list. Again, Finn Wittrock at 5'9", 34 years of age. So now let's go to my next pick, Bob Morley. Now, you guys, if you guys have seen the 100, you already know who he is. He is, again, just like Finn Wittrock. He's 34. He's at the top of the age range that I would want for Nightwing. And he is 5'10", so he's in a good height, below, you know, just under 5'11", which is where a lot of my picks for Batman were, or like 6 foot or 6'1" or 6'2". So he is not the shortest guy in town, but he's a good height that is a little bit not imposing, but, you know, strong. He's got a strong build, and I think he does have quite a bit of the look. Now, let me show you guys what I mean by the look. He's a different face than a lot of the other guys on my pick pick list, but take a look at this. So this is one of him as Nightwing. This one would probably be really easy to Photoshop. I'm probably going to use that one myself. But this one, that's not him. Let me see. Where's Bob Morley? Bob Morley, where'd you go, man? Where'd my Bob Morley at? Here's an image of him. There's not a ton. This is one of the ones that doesn't have a ton of fan art. But this one is here. So they did that one so you could see that. What I wanted to show you guys was Bob Morley has like this face right here. Look at this. So this on the left is Lois Tan. Someone was trying to compare Lois Tan to this one on the right. This image of Nightwing on the right. But forget the image of Lois Tan. I'm going to go back and forth for a second. Look at his nose, look at his chin, look at his eyes, his face structure, and now look at this. You see that? That to me looks like Bob Morley. So again, look at the nose on Nightwing. Forget Lois Tan, just look at Nightwing. And now look at Bob Morley. Pretty close. That to me looks pretty close. So yes, it's one specific version of Nightwing, but I do think that he does look a little bit like that version of Nightwing. And I have some of the comics with him in there. Like if you got like New 52 or something like that, he is a pretty good actor. I really like him. I loved him in the 100. I haven't seen much else of that guy, but on the 100 he's fantastic, and I think he would be a really good choice for Nightwing. Maybe not the best choice, which is why he's on my bonus list, and he's a little bit old, but at the same time, I think that he would still be really good for the role of Nightwing. Not the best, but up there. And let me know what you guys think about Bob Morley as Nightwing, because I want to know if you guys think that that's a good pick. If not, let me know why. So for the bonus picks, we have Finn Wittrock, 5'9", 34 years of age, and then the second is Bob Morley, 5'10", 1 inch taller, and the same age, 34 years of age. So lastly on my bonus pick list, I've got a couple of comments here from Zach, Michael B. Jordan, and Andy Samberg. Look, if Andy Samberg could tone the heck off of his comedic style, I love him as a comedian. I love his style, but it does not work for Nightwing. It's not the same. Andy Samberg could possibly do it. I would not like that personally. Michael B. Jordan, I think, is a terrible choice for Nightwing, but not a terrible choice for Jason Todd Red Hood, and I'll explain why in a separate video. Michael B. Jordan, not a great choice for Nightwing. But anyway, let's go to my last pick here. That was funny. That made me laugh. So Chris Wood, 30 years old, 6 feet tall. So he's really good stature. The guy has a really strong, solid build. He's not a like giant or anything, but 30 years old is really, it gives you about 4 or 5 years before he starts to become a little old for Nightwing. But again, once you establish yourself in like a cinematic world, you grow with those actors. So those, like, for instance, Robert Downey Jr. isn't the same age as Iron Man that we read in the comics, but it doesn't really matter because we love him in the films and we've watched him grow over the years as we have grown. So it kind of tracks with you. So if you start him at 30 years old, and he does look pretty youthful when he shaves his facial hair. He's on Supergirl. I forget what his character's name is, but Mon-El. But Mon-El was probably the best part of Supergirl, honestly. And they really shot themselves in the foot there. They could have done so much more with his character. They should have made him so much more like relevant. They should have had him be a really like powerful. I haven't seen the new season, so I've seen all the way up to the new season. I haven't seen the new season, but yeah, I think he was the better part of that show. I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. You can see some images here of him as Mon-El or like Superman, Superboy, that kind of thing. This is him as Mon-El. If it'll load, there we go. And this is again him as Mon-El, but him as Nightwing looks pretty good. He's got the same like face shape, very close to I think Stephen R. McQueen or Robbie Amell. That kind of look. He's got a very similar look to those guys, and he. Not a lot of fan art here, but you can see the comparisons that he would probably fit really nicely behind the mask of Nightwing. He's got a similar build. Like, again, he's not jacked, but he's pretty healthy fit. I don't even think that might not even be is that his body, or is that like a built, like, extra suit or something like that? Where'd that one picture go? I had that picture of him over here. Nevertheless, It's okay. There's not a ton of art. This is one particular that I knew wasn't going to have a lot of art for, but that's all right. I think he would do a really good job as Nightwing. Probably have a very similar feel to the Young Justice Nightwing as far as his personality goes and his acting style. It'd be very close to the Young Justice version. So I think he would be a really good pick. Now, I want you guys to let me know, did you guys even watch Supergirl? Do you care about Supergirl? Did you like it? Do you love it? I want to hear your thoughts on that. And what else? Ben Affleck as Nightwing and Chris Parnell. I don't know who Chris Parnell is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it up over here just in case. Chris Parnell. Yeah, no, that I don't think that works very well. Chris Parnell. Are you just listing the cast of Hot Rod? Is that what's happening here? So that's hilarious. Yeah, I know. So those are my picks for Nightwing. So let me just go ahead and give you guys a quick recap of all of my choices here. So after we got over here, we have Dylan O'Brien, 5'10", 27 years of age. We have Lois Tan, 6'2", 32 years of age. We have Aaron TaylorJohnson, 5'11", 28 years of age. We have Robbie Amell, 5'11", 30 years of age. We have Stephen R McQueen, 6 foot tall, 30 years of age. Finn Wittrock, 5'9", 34 years of age. Bob Morley, 5'10", 34 years of age. And Chris Wood, 6 feet tall, 30 years of age. So a lot of my picks were, for the most part, really close to 30 years old. And the reason I did that was because in the DCEU, I expect they're going to want to continue to add more and more characters, such as Jason Todd, such as Tim Drake, and, you know, such as Barbara Gordon. There's a lot of characters that would fit chronologically after Nightwing in age. And if you want them to have any kind of story above the age of 18, even Damian Wayne, who would most likely be under 18, is probably still going to need room to be younger than Tim Drake and younger than Barbara Gordon and younger than Jason Todd and that kind of stuff. So I put him up there. That way it doesn't cripple you in your ability to realistically cast the other characters as far as actual like age comparisons. So that's pretty much where I'm left off. So I'm going to go ahead and transition back to my previous screen. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys liked this fan casting. If you didn't, let me know why. Let me know which of these you thought were reasonable, which of these you thought were outside the box, which of these sucked. I want to hear from you guys. And then also, if there was someone on your list that didn't make my list, let me know who you want to play Nightwing, because I would love to look those up and talk with you about those in the comments as well. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, make sure to click the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please turn on notifications, which will be next to the subscribe button once you've already subscribed, so that you guys won't miss a single thing. As soon as I go live like this, you guys will be able to click in and watch the video and join us in the chat and talk with us about all these things. I'm really excited to do those with you. I look forward to that. And speaking of which, we have some comments right now. So, Forrest Whitaker, yeah, right. I don't watch any of the TV shows other than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just can't do it. I've tried. It was tough to even watch most of the Netflix Marvel. Wow, that's bold. I really enjoyed Daredevil. I liked The Punisher a lot. I did watch Iron Fist. Iron Fist Season 1 was not great. Iron Fist Season 2 was fantastic, and I loved it. There was some of the other ones kind of weren't my cup of tea. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love that show. Can't wait for the next season. There's a lot of superhero shows that I've watched almost all of them actually, but yeah, some of them are just not that great. Some of them are fun, some of them are stupid, not to name Inhumans, but yeah. And anyway, Second Street Marvel says, Zach says, Morris Chestnut, you didn't like Daredevil? No, of course I like Daredevil. I said I like Daredevil. Malik Yoba, Jordan Peele. You're naming everyone you think won't be good for this, which is hilarious. So anyway, Iron Fist season was smellier than my Taco Bell poop. Thanks for that, Zach. That's much appreciated. So anyways, guys, thank you again. You guys stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.